out this video by apologizing. I understand how cringeworthy and terrible the title of this video is, but unfortunately on YouTube, it's the only way to get people to click on your videos. And if I can prevent one person from buying something that they cannot afford, it will all be worth it. So enjoy this fancy new whip that we just got. Level up, level up, level up, So this right here is a 2018 Volkswagen Tiguan, I don't know exactly what you call it, 34,000 miles. The thing is, it's beautiful, and if it looks very familiar to you, it's probably because it's the exact same car we have been driving. Megan's lease was up, and I decided I'm gonna buy it. It's a great car. This car cost $17,000. And it's amazing. It gets like 25 miles a gallon, has great seat belts. The heated seats are incredible. Alfie fits perfectly here in the back. I mean, what more could you want in a car, my friends? Don't get me wrong, I'm not naive. I understand that I cannot post a picture of me flexing next to this on Instagram and tell everyone how hard I grind, but that is exactly what I want to talk about in this video. And if you happen to be new to the channel, please subscribe. It would be great to have you here, and you might as well turn on post notifications. Drop the video a like while you're down there. You guys are in for a great video today. And I always get the question, like, when am I gonna get the supercar like every other social media influencer? And if I did, I know that I would get a lot more likes on Instagram, and you guys would think I'm so much cooler. And I tend to pick on cars a lot because those are really status symbols in most cases. I did a very thorough study on Instagram where I was scrolling through, and 98% of people that drive Mercedes are just kind of doing it for clout. Not many car enthusiasts out there that I've seen, and this is kind of ironic because my best friends absolutely love cars and drive very nice vehicles, but it's interesting they have 0 pictures by them on their social media feed. So I would say that they're probably buying them for the right reason, whereas what I typically see when I scroll online is people just want to appear to be living a lifestyle and maybe they can't afford. And I'm always saying that we need to focus more on financial literacy and much less on internet clout. So this is me taking matters into my own hands because I just do not see it being talked about nearly enough. And don't get me wrong, I like nice things. I live in a nice house. I buy Rogue, which is essentially the Mercedes of gym equipment. But the difference here is if I sell my house, I'm gonna make $40,000 or $50,000 even if I sold it today, just from appreciation. And most of us know vehicles are just going to depreciate eventually to 0. And what I see a lot of people doing is they're making themselves broke, or they're not putting enough away because they're buried in a car payment just because they're worried about people who don't care about them and what they think. Now, if we take a step back and we think about it, what's more important? The opinion of a random stranger on the internet or providing my family with a better life? I think we all know the answer, so we're gonna get into that here in a little bit. Hey, cameraman.
Yes.
Would you have liked me more if I drove a fancy car?
Yes. I'm just kidding.
What the heck? That was not supposed to happen. She does not like to play along here, but in all honesty, when we met, I was driving a 2006 Toyota Highlander. So she's not actually being serious, although maybe I would have got her to say yes a little bit sooner. That Toyota Highlander, the heat went out in Ohio. That was not one of my finer moments. If it was up to this man, I would just be driving the ice cream truck so he could just be snacking all day. Now, I am not saying to not go out and buy whatever car you want if you're in a position to do so, obviously. And in fact, we just bought another car because I'm gonna be taking over Megan's, so we got her something else, and it's more expensive than any car either of us have ever purchased. If you guys have any guesses, leave them down below. It's not a luxury car, but it's still really nice. And again, more than we've ever had, and it's just the right fit for where we're at in life currently. And the way that I always like to think about things is, imagine you have $100,000 in your bank, and that's all of your assets, so your entire net worth is that $100,000. Most people would say that's pretty good, right? Depending on how old you are, and you'd feel pretty secure with that. and you go out and you're looking for cars and you decide to buy a $50,000 car because you feel like you can afford it. And I'd say $50,000 is kind of standard these days somehow. But that's actually 50% of your net worth. And when you think of it in those terms, it starts to make less and less sense, especially given that that car is just going to depreciate. And I don't think the goal here should be to go out and see how much of a car loan you can get from the bank and maximize that. Rather, I think the goal should be how to minimize your car payment so that you can maximize the other money that you are saving to really free up your future. Now, personally, I like to stay underneath that 5% threshold of my net worth when we're buying vehicles, but it's gonna be very individual and dependent on your current circumstances, so you just have to find what number is right for you. But I did want to run through some numbers and just show you what can actually happen if you opt for a cheaper vehicle. So say instead of a $40,000 car, you go for a $20,000 car, and maybe that means instead of a $600 car payment, your car payment is now only $300, which I think is a very good spot for most people. And again, for $20,000, you can get a really nice car. That Volkswagen is great. It's gonna run for 10 to 15 more years. So that $300 delta is the money we now have available to us. So I'm gonna run through a future value of money calculator, and an average car loan I would say is 5 years. We're gonna say our starting amount is $0. Interest rate, 10%, I'm going to say, just to mimic what you can get in the market during most years. And your periodic deposit for an annual basis, we're gonna say is $3,600, which is the $300 that you're saving times 12. So that $3,600 per year is what you're now able to invest. And if I calculate that, rather than paying that $3,600 a year, which would be $18,000 over 5 years, you would be left with almost $22,000. So a $22,000 savings over 5 years just for making what some would say is a better choice of vehicle. And of course, this doesn't just stop at vehicles. This could be applied to any aspect of your life, like this kitchen table, for example. We started looking at tables, and they were over $1,000 for a table. First off, I wasn't convinced we needed a table because we have bar stools over there. I've never had a kitchen table before in my life, but Megan was convinced we needed a table. She was like Googling the heck out of it. She found this table that looks the exact same for $450, and it's great. Same with this chair. She hit up World Market, had all these coupons, and you know, all these different little things you can do, because the goal here is to keep as much money as you possibly can, invest that to provide you not clout, freedom. How is it living with someone so frugal?
It helps.
Does
it keeps me in check, even if it's annoying sometimes.
Tell them how cheap I am, 1 to 10.
You're like a 4.
A 4?
4 or 5. You're kind of in the middle.
With 10 being the most cheap? Well, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, you're in the middle.
Okay, I'll take that.
Maybe leaning on the side of more frugal.
That's fair. I mean, when you think about it, if you invest your money, it's going to double every 7 years. So that $22,000 that you just saved is gonna double in 7 years. And so when you think of things in that manner, it's kind of hard not to wanna pinch your pennies a little bit. Now in 2 months, you're gonna forget about this video, you're gonna be scrolling through Instagram and you're going to be tempted. And I know this because I've been tempted plenty of times, even though I'm more financially conservative than a lot of people out there. And I've test driven BMWs and Lexus and Audis, and for a few minutes or a few days, I actually considered it until I went back to that opportunity cost that we just discussed. And making those smarter decisions in my 20s really set me up for success here in my 30s now, and that is what I want for all of you, especially those who are younger and you're watching these videos and you might not always be thinking about the big picture. And I understand the argument against it, right? For those that say, hey, we work so hard and we want to enjoy what we've worked for, and I understand completely. And I guess a counter argument to that would be, if all you have are material things for a symbol of any work or any success that you've had, I would say you're actually kind of poor. I actually just found this the other day when I was going through my dad's things that I brought from Ohio. It says, keep me and never go broke. And on the back it has John, which is my great-grandfather, who I never met, but this was pretty cool to find. Come from a long line of very frugal individuals, as you can see. And coming from a family who was frugal out of necessity, I can tell you the feeling of financial freedom is so much better than sitting inside of any kind of luxury car. I promise you. Shout out to the chef. Hey Meg, you excited to have 2 cars again?
Yes.
We've been doing the 1 car life for a while now. I kind of like it. I leave her stranded quite a bit, but I think she's excited. I haven't told him what you're getting yet. She gonna be fancy. And obviously there's a lot more nuance to this than I'm going to be able to get to in a 10-minute YouTube video, but this is where we are gonna leave it off for now. If you want me to make more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know your feedback. Do you agree? Am I stupid? You all never are shy about giving me your true thoughts and opinions, which I appreciate. Sometimes I just cry myself to sleep at night, but thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to watch. You could have been doing anything in the entire world, and you chose to spend a few minutes with me. That is pretty awesome. Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to turn on notifications, and I look forward to talking to y'all next time.